Prime Minister Narendra Modi received an audience on Wednesday with Bhutan King Jigme Singye Wangchuk in Thimphu. Prime Minister conveyed felicitations on the occasion of the 70th birth anniversary of the fourth king and the best wishes and prayers for the government and people of India for Bhutan King's continued good health and well-being. Prime Minister Modi thanked the Bhutanese king for his leadership, counsel and guidance in further strengthening India-Bhutan friendship. Both the leaders held discussions on bilateral ties and issues of mutual interest. In this context, they underlined the shared spiritual and cultural bonds that bring the people of the two countries closer. All right, our correspondent Shubhendu Ghosh is joining us from Thimphu. Shubhendu, talking of the engagements today, we've told our viewers about Prime Minister Narendra Modi receiving an audience with the Bhutanese king. At the same time, we've also told our viewers about Prime Minister's participation at the Kalachakra ceremony. You get us more as to, while covering the event, what did you gauge? To what extent did this visit, two-day visit of the Prime Minister, help in further strengthening the relationship between the two nations?
Hello, Preeti from Thimphu. And if you can take me in full frame, you'll be able to see the sea of humanity who had gathered for this Kalachakra program where Prime Minister Narendra Modi a short while ago participated. We'll be getting you those visuals in just a bit. This was a very, very important spiritual program taking forward the shared heritage of India and Buddhism. The program was an initiation of a Kalachakra stream, which basically is talking about coming together of the human, the cosmos, and time in itself. So in that sense, the spiritual traditions of India and Bhutan were marked and celebrated just a short while ago. Earlier today, Prime Minister Narendra Modi had an audience with
Shubhendu, I'll interrupt you here. At present, we're showing the visuals of Prime Minister Narendra Modi participating in this Kalachakra ceremony along with the Bhutanese king. Here are the visuals of Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Bhutan king participating in the Kalachakra empowerment ceremony. Now, this is part of the 16-day World Peace Prayer Festival. The festival began on 4th of November, and Kalachakra empowerment symbolizes peace and spiritual paradise of Shambhala. This is a mythical kingdom, and here on our screens we see the astounding crowd of people that has gathered there as Prime Minister Narendra Modi and the Bhutanese king participate in the ceremony. Prime Minister Narendra Modi greeting the people who have gathered at the ceremony. The Bhutanese government is organizing this festival, the 16-day World Peace Prayer Festival. This festival began on 4th of November, and the Bhutanese government is organizing this festival as part of a broader effort to promote global peace, compassion and spiritual harmony. Here we also see Bhutanese king along with Prime Minister Narendra Modi at the ceremony. This is the second day of Prime Minister Narendra Modi's visit to Bhutan. And here we see Prime Minister participating in the ceremony. Now, this Kalachakra, or the Wheel of Time empowerment, Prime Minister Narendra Modi participating in the Kalachakra Wheel of Time empowerment. This is a high-level Buddhist ritual that initiates practitioners into the Kalachakra Tantra. Now, this is a system of advanced meditation and practice. This important ritual is notable for being open to public, and it is often given by spiritual leaders to promote world peace. Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Bhutanese King at the Kalachakra Empowerment Ceremony. As we told you, this is a very important ceremony held in Bhutan, and this is part of the 16-day World Peace Prayer Festival. Our correspondent Shubhendu Ghosh is there with us. Shubhendu, we were talking of how this visit by the Prime Minister will give a fillip to the relations, but then at present we are showing the visuals of Prime Minister and Bhutanese King participating in the Kalachakra Empowerment Ceremony. I would want you to spell out more for our viewers, for them to understand what this ceremony is about.
Right, Preeti, what we're looking at on our screens at the moment, the event that happened just a short while ago, Prime Minister Narendra Modi came to the Changlamthan Stadium. This is where the Global Peace Prayer Festival has been underway. It is going on from November 4th to November 19th. Now, Prime Minister's presence at this venue was a very special moment for the two nations, India and Bhutan, who share a rich civilizational connect and shared Buddhist heritage. In that sense, this particular program today, the Kalachakra initiation, marked an important coming together of Indian and Buddhist traditions. What it does symbolize is, as you mentioned, the name Shambhala. In Buddhist belief, there is an ideal land of Shambhala where there is harmony between beings of all kinds. There are no conflicts. It's an ideal world. And through this program, the idea is to be able to create such an ideal world on Earth, to create harmony and peace among beings, from individual to the world to time itself. Let harmony touch the lives of every individual and every being. That is the central prayer of this Kalachakra program that Prime Minister participated in a short while ago. This also connects very importantly with the message of peace and solidarity that the two leaders, the King of Bhutan and Prime Minister, gave, especially in the aftermath of the terrible blast that happened in Delhi. People of Bhutan also prayed together for the victims in Delhi, India. So in that sense, the moment today was high on the spiritual question, the Buddhist tradition, which is central to India and Bhutan friendship. Hundreds and thousands of Buddhist lamas, not just from Bhutan, but from all over the world, peace advocates, even people who don't follow Buddhism, but who are interested in the idea of promoting peace and harmony in the world outside, have all come together. Thousands of them have gathered for as many days to be able to take forward that message. And today's program, this initiation of the Kalachakra, is a very powerful prayer and meditation being sent out from this beautiful land and kingdom to spread the word of peace and harmony, which is central message of Buddhism in many ways. And the idea of Shambhala, the ideal land, can it be created here on earth? For that to happen, peace and harmony must prevail among all beings. In the time of crisis and conflicts that we are going through, this program, this message becomes very significant. Their Prime Minister, when he arrived at the venue, he was received by the royalty of Bhutan, by the present king, by his father, the fourth king, the former king, whose birth anniversary was observed yesterday. Prime Minister of Bhutan was also there to receive Prime Minister Modi. And Prime Minister then lit some ghee lamps, which is traditional in Buddhism. He also took rounds of that very important spiritual chamber where the Buddhist priest had been praying together, sending out messages of peace and harmony. Towards the conclusion of the program, when Prime Minister was leaving from the venue, it was a short program of about 30 minutes that Prime Minister spent here. He then reached out to hundreds and thousands of Buddhist followers, monks and lamas who had all gathered here to witness Prime Minister's presence and participation in this program. And when he was leaving, then he actually turned around and he went among the lamas and the Buddhist priest, waved at all of them, greeted them, shared in many ways greetings from all of India to the people in Bhutan on this very special occasion. India is partnering with Bhutan in furthering the message of peace
and harmony.
Yes.
All right, Shubhendu. So that was about Kalachakra ceremony where Prime Minister participated today. Earlier today, we saw him also have an audience with the King of Bhutan. Help us understand, during this two-day visit, you've covered it extensively. To what extent has the relationship between the two countries further strengthened? What are the areas on which the leaders focused?
Preeti, one can say that the close ties between India and Bhutan have become even more closer. We see milestones achieved in various domains of development partnership, from spiritual and civilizational ties to development partnership. We saw this mega P2 hydropower project that was inaugurated by the King of Bhutan and Prime Minister Modi jointly. India and Bhutan resources and talent have come together to make this mega hydropower project possible. In fact, it has been activated, and the power that is generated, electricity supply from this power plant to India has started. Just to give a background of this sort of arrangement that is there between India and Bhutan, India helps make these mega hydropower projects, clean energy projects in Bhutan. And Bhutan, given the small population and the landscape, exports most of the electricity and power produced back to India. Now, with this hydropower project, Bhutan's capacity to produce clean electricity would be increased by about 40%. It also, when it exports and sells the electricity to India, it is also one of the key sources of revenue for this Himalayan kingdom. So in that sense, it's a win-win partnership for both India and Bhutan. Cooperation is also being taken forward in diverse areas of health, mental health in particular, and also sustainable development. At a time when we are going through a climate crisis, voices of India and Bhutan play a very important role in showing what kind of model partnership can exist between nations, while aiming for economic prosperity, also spare a thought for the planet, and also take joint steps forward towards sustainable development. So in those ways, it's a very important visit of Prime Minister Narendra Modi is strengthening the already close ties between India and Bhutan.
All right. So that was about, strengthening the ties between India and Bhutan. Shubhendu, people-to-people ties and civilizational ties play a very important role, which was highlighted by Prime Minister as well. Now, talking of Prime Minister's engagements during these 2 days, help us understand, how has this particular factor helped in bringing the two nations together? What role do the people-to-people ties play, for both the countries, one? And secondly, over the years, help us understand, how has the relationship between India and Bhutan evolved? Now, Prime Minister has always laid importance on the neighbors and his, Act East policy. Help us understand, how much is Bhutan important to India and vice versa?
That's right. And I'll also request our producer if we can show the visuals of Prime Minister's engagement here in Bhutan while I talk about the manner in which relations were taken forward. Right now, I'm at Chamlingtan Stadium, where a short while ago, Prime Minister Narendra Modi participated in this very special Kalachakra initiation program, which takes forward the global peace prayer festival that is taking place in Bhutan. And talking about people-to-people ties, Preeti, that really forms the bedrock for hundreds and thousands of years. Two oldest civilizations in the world, India and Bhutan, the people-to-people ties is where it all begins. There's always been exchanges since the civilizations began. Then Buddhism becomes a very, very important connect between the peoples of the two countries. And today we see this partnership is now maturing, has been maturing for a long time. In fact, it is in fact gaining momentum in the manner in which the two countries also look at each other as very energized economy, who can partner with each other, who can build upon each other's strength, who can together create projects which sort of represent a model of sustainable development for the world. People-to-people ties are also taken forward in the manner in which India is working towards a capacity build-up, capacity development for Bhutan. From the policy perspective of neighborhood first, Bhutan is a pillar of that philosophy and policy. There's a Gyalsan program taking place here in Bhutan. Bhutan recognizes that preparing a brighter future for the youth of the kingdom, it requires them to ponder over all economic opportunities that can be created. There has to be state-of-the-art skill development programs that must take place here. And this is where India is playing a very important role in this Gyalsan program in creating both the hard infrastructure as well as soft skilling programs. In all of these domains, India happens to be a key partner. So in that sense, that development partnership that we were talking about is now being also taken forward through the people-to-people connect and the youth empowerment, youth education, and the skilling of the Bhutanese youth. And that in many ways not just strengthens the relationship, but also gives it confidence to tackle the challenges of the future more confidently as friends together.
All right, Shubhendu, we leave it here. Very aptly and in detail, you've explained to us how the relationship has evolved. Thank you so much for joining in with those inputs from Bhutan. That was our correspondent, Shubhendu Ghosh, joining us from Thimphu and getting us constant developments from Thimphu when we talk of Prime Minister Narendra Modi's two-day visit to Bhutan. Today, the Prime Minister had an audience with the Bhutanese king, and he also participated in the Kalachakra empowerment ceremony, which is indeed a very important part of the 16-day World Peace Prayer Festival, which the Prime Minister also attended yesterday. And this is part of the 16-day festival, which began on 4th of November. So in a nutshell, our correspondent also explained to us the different areas and of cooperation which will in fact help in strengthening the relationship between India and Bhutan. And he also explained to us how over the years, the relationship between India and Bhutan has evolved. So that was about Prime Minister's visit to Bhutan so far.